Well, guys, there's a lot of great books coming out this Wednesday. It's time to take a look at them so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Now, I'm sure you're loving this mysterious look. Maybe you're not. It's giving me like, Are You Afraid of the Dark vibes. But I'm not quite ready to show off the final space yet. So I had to add a little bit of mystery, some mystique. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and I hope you bear with me, right? Because it's taking a little bit more time to get this space together than I thought. So my schedule has been sporadic. I am post a video all weekend. Hopefully the content I am putting up is good enough to hold you guys over. So anyway, it's a pretty stacked comic book week, as they always are. I love this series. It's called What I'm Getting, in case this is your first time here. I go over the solicitations. I pick out the books that I'm getting. I tell you what's on the chopping block and what's on my maybe list for the week. But with all that said, it's time to go ahead and get into this week's picks. I always like to start with the book that I'm most excited for, and that is, this week, Stray Dogs #5. Stray Dogs by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner is a 5-issue miniseries, which means this is the final issue. Now, issues 1 through 4 had me like hooked. Every single time I finish a book, I'm like, it can't be the end. This can't be the end. And this time we know it's going to be the end. Now, is there another series coming? Are they going to be able to wrap up all the threads they've started? Who knows? But they've certainly got my attention. I love these dogs. I love this gritty mystery. I don't want to spoil anything, but this series is so suspenseful. And if you saw my favorite reads from the month of May, then you know why this is so high on the list. I can't wait to see how this wraps up. I can't wait to see what happens with our furry friends. Are they going to make it out? Are they not? We'll find out. But anyway, that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. It's not that often that the book I'm most excited for is an indie book, but we'll go ahead and roll with it. So, continuing with exciting indie titles, this week brings the release of Spawn's Universe #1. So a bunch of new Spawn titles are launching. We got King Spawn, we got Gunslinger Spawn, we got Spawn's Universe, and then of course we have the regular Spawn title. So coming up soon, you'll be able to buy Spawn every week of the month, which is pretty cool, but it all is going to spring out of this issue, Spawn's Universe #1. Obviously done by Todd McFarlane. I'm pretty sure there's a different artist. Todd McFarlane's not the artist on this, but these covers are amazing. So J. Scott Campbell does the majority of the covers. I think there's 5 covers, and J. Scott Campbell does at least 3 of them. I'm looking at this J. Scott Campbell Gunslinger variant. Really like that. Brett Booth has a variant as well. I like that one also. And of course, you got to get the cover from the Todd father himself, right? So that Todd McFarlane cover E's got my name on it too. But no matter which cover you grab, it's got a cover price of $5.99. And I don't mind it for a big, huge launch. I mean, this is the first #1 of Spawn since Spawn #1 in '92. So, hey, I'm down for it. I can get with that. So next up on the indie pull list is Philadelphia #14. Philadelphia by Rodney Barnes with art by Jason Shawn Alexander. I've really been enjoying Philadelphia. I literally read issue 1, and that got me so hooked that I wanted to buy the entire series, and so I did. And I think I'm on issue 5 now, but I just love it so much that I'm like, I'm never dropping this title. So issue #14 will be waiting for me whenever I get to it in my to-read pile. And that's just how that's going to go. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is a book that I'm only getting because I forgot to take it off my pull list, and this issue should complete a story arc, but this is Power Rangers issue #8. Yes, Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers are still on my pull list, and it was really just because of the covers, but this is do or die season. There are so many books, there are so many titles, I can't afford to have any duds on the pull list, so Unfortunately, Power Rangers is going to have to be on the chopping block. But issue number 8 is safe because it's going to wrap up the story arc. But that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A. And then the next one, this is another book that's been on my pull list just for the covers. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 118. You guys can't see, but I've got an art print of the Ninja Turtles right behind me as we speak. I love the Turtles. This series has been dragging. There's not been a ton of action. It's just been a lot of stuff going on like that I didn't necessarily want out of the Turtles. But again, the covers have always kept me. Kevin Eastman does the variant covers every time, and they're always fire. But again, I can't afford to just keep books on the pull list that aren't going to pull their weight. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 118. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the Kevin Eastman cover B, although the cover A is pretty dope too. But that's going to do it for my indie comics pull list. And so, if I just stick to the list, I'm going to be paying a grand total of $21 for those books. Not terrible, but not my greatest week either. Now, next up, let's go ahead and talk about Marvel Comics, or as I should put it, X-Men Comics. Every single book on my Marvel pull list is in the Reign of X storyline right now. But anyway, we're starting it off with Sword issue number 6. Sword, I believe, is written by Fabian Nicieza, but Sword has been an interesting series. I've only read 2 issues. The second issue was a King in Black tie-in, but I was told that it's actually really important to the overall X-Men story. So that's why I went ahead and grabbed all the back issues, and I'm slowly working through them. But that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up, Way of X number 3. This is actually one of my favorite titles, and I am caught up on it. But Way of X, following Nightcrawler and just the moral ramifications of having this culture where death is normalized, and not feared at all. But then we've also got this interesting threat with the Patchwork Man and Legion. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Really interesting, really cool, but I'm really enjoying it. But that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up, Wolverine issue 13. You already know Wolverine's the best there is at what he does. I'm only 2 issues behind from being caught up on Wolverine post 10 of Swords. I'm really, really enjoying it. I love the action. I love the mystery. I love the espionage. And these storylines with Dracula and there's the pale, like there's a lot going on that's just really dope. And it's always asking the same existential questions. Like you're seeing Wolverine as like the tough weather dude. Like, anyway, I don't need to sell Wolverine to anyone. Wolverine issue 13 is in stores this week, and it's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm just getting cover A. And last up from my Marvel pull list. This is a book that I just forgot to take off the pull list, to be honest with you. But it's been a fun book, a fun series. This is XMen Legends number 4. This one is going to see a story by the Simonsons. We got Scott and Jean in their X Factor uniforms once again. But it's basically just like throwback to your favorite time periods in the X-Men and sort of continuing stories, but just it's something for the people who don't necessarily want to be all wrapped up in the Dawn of X continuity and just want something fun. It's been fun. I've been enjoying it, and I love the X-Men, so I've been grabbing it. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And that's it for my Marvel Comics pull list. So if I just stick to the list, my Marvel Comics are going to cost me just $16 this time around. And finally, we talked the indies, we talked Marvel. Now it's time to talk Now it's time to talk DC Comics, right? The reason I have to cut down my pull list is because these DC Comics prices are insane. I don't get it. But anyway, first up from DC Comics, Action Comics issue 1032. Again, I keep telling you guys, I've been enjoying the Superman and Action Comics series written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. We know that in a couple of weeks, we're going to get Tom Taylor writing a new Superman title with John Kent as Superman. What we don't know is how things are going to end with Clark, and we are hurtling toward that conclusion and the answer to that question. So Action Comics 1032, it's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And next up is a brand new series because you needed a brand new series from DC Comics. It is Batman Reptilian #1. This one is written by Garth Ennis with artwork by Liam Sharp. I'm solely getting this because the artwork looks amazing. It's a Black Label series, so I expect it to be a little bit more mature, a little bit more action-paced, maybe action-paced, action-packed, fast-paced, maybe a little bit more gruesome than your typical Batman tale. But again, that artwork just looks awesome. So that's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up, Detective Comics 1038. You still got Batman, you still got the Huntress. I'm a little bit behind, but hey, what else is new? I'm never going to drop Batman or Detective Comics from my pull list, so that's just that. But Detective Comics 1038's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Although, for you guys who love Lee Bermejo artwork, he is killing it on these Detective Comics variant covers and has been for like a year and a half now, so grab those. Next up, another brand new #1 this week. This is Infinite Frontier #1. Now, if you read Death Metal, you read the Generations Shattered one-shots and all that, then you know that there's kind of some mysteries about what's happening in the DC universe. We've got the multiverse, or we had the multiverse. Now we've got the omniverse. Everything counts. Everything matters. But what really is the setup for the future of the DC universe? Do we just have a bunch of random titles that don't connect? Not necessarily. So the Infinite Frontier, written by Joshua Williamson, is laying out what this new DC universe is going to be. We're seeing characters that we're not seeing in all the other Infinite Frontier titles. I mean, we got Val Zod Superman, or is that President Superman? Somebody let me know which Superman that is on the cover. But anyway, Infinite Frontier #1. If you want to know what's going on in the DC universe, that's a book that you have to grab. That's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up, Justice League, issue 63. Justice League being written by Brian Michael Bendis. I don't remember who's doing the artwork. I'm only one issue behind on Justice League right now, and I've been enjoying it. So far, we got this big threat from Naomi's home world. So she's kind of the resident expert, but although she's not really an expert, she doesn't really know much. We got Black Adam fighting. We got a lot of really cool things happening on the Justice League. The only complaint I really have is like the voices don't feel very distinct from each other. So it's like I don't always know who's talking all the time. But anyway, Justice League 63. I'm keeping it on the pull list. I've been enjoying it so far. It's got a cover price of $4.99. You see this? Every book on the DC pull list, it's $4.99. Why is that, DC? But anyway, I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is the one exception to this $4.99 rule. That is Robin, issue #3. So Robin also being written by Josh Williamson. We basically got Robin fighting on an island. Robin, I should be more specific, right? We got Damian Wayne Robin fighting in like this Mortal Kombat style tournament to the death, right? And we find out that you can die multiple times. It's crazy. Dang, that was a spoiler. My bad. Robin has been dope. I'm excited to see where this miniseries goes. But issue #3 is out this week. That's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And lastly, on my DC Comics pull list this week is Superman, issue 32. Now, I don't know what happened because Superman and Action Comics don't usually come out in the same week, but for whatever reason, they're coming out the same week today, so I gotta figure out which one you're supposed to read first, because the stories are actually, they're kind of following each other. Anyway, Superman is also written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. And like I said, we're trying to get to this conclusion to see what's happening with Clark and, how is John going to end up being Superman? Perhaps that's getting answered this week and that's why they pushed up the release schedule. I don't know. I probably should have read the solicitation before I started talking to you. Anyway, that's got a cover price of $4.99 and I'm just getting the cover A. Now, if I just stick to the list, stick to my DC Comics pull list, then my DC Comics are going to cost me $34 this week. That's high in any week. But that brings me to my grand total, which is $71 this week. 71. Luckily, I got a gift certificate from my lovely wife for Father's Day. So even though it'll be 71, that's all coming off the gift card balance. And I spent a whopping zero this week. But man, this has to stop. This like so I can't afford to keep all these DC Comics titles on the pull list. If every DC book is going to cost me $1 more, that means for every 4 DC Comics I buy, I could have saved $1 and bought another indie book or another Marvel book, right? Like, it's just, I can't justify spending $5 a book when they're putting out so many books. It's a lot. I love DC Comics. You guys know I love DC Comics, but I can't justify these prices. So moving forward, you guys are going to see some stuff on the chopping block. I just got to figure out which ones it's going to be. And that's going to be tough because like I said, I love DC, but these indie publishers, they're taking chances. They're putting out series that are actually really good. And Marvel's doing X-Men. So, there's a lot of competition out there. So we're going to see who makes the cut. There were a couple of books I did have to cut out this week. First of which is Bitter Root, issue 14. I cut it simply because I hadn't read any of the issues prior. I tried to jump in at issue 12 because I knew it was a new story arc. But with so many books on the pull list, it consistently drops to the bottom of the pile. And I felt like I was going to be lost picking it up at issue 13. So I'm going to have to drop that title and just wait for the trades on that one. What else dropped from the pull list? Batman Superman number 19 was out this week. Now the title's getting canceled anyway, so I'm like, I might as well keep it on, but I gotta save some money somewhere. So Gene Lin Yang's Batman Superman, although it's not bad, it's not a bad series, it's just not an essential series. And so for those reasons I had to cut it out. But that had a cover price of $3.99 as well. So I do cut some things from the pull list. I've got a lot more cutting to do though if I'm going to get back to my weekly budget of $50. So join me, stay with me for the next episode to see what stays on the pull list. But I want to know what's on your pull list this week. Which books are you buying? Like, what is on the chopping block? What's on your maybe list? What are you really high on? And what are you like, I got to drop this title? Let me know in the comments below. While you're there, you should definitely join the K Squad, which is our private Facebook group where we talk comics all the time, not just when a video comes out. We do really fun giveaways and prizes and all sorts of initiatives. It's really fun being in the K Squad, and I got people in the comments that'll vouch for me. So, K Squad, I need y'all to mount up in the comments. Is mount up? Is that what people say? They said that to the Regulators in that Warren G song. Anyway, so while you're in the comment section or while you're in the description, you can definitely take a look at the K Squad and the other or all of our channel partners, including Organic Price Books to save on collected editions, Mainstream Comics to save on mystery boxes, and more. Anyways, I hope you saw something you liked in this video, and if not, hey, that's cool. So you can always buy what you like. Make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.